discussion on the topic of cost sheet. Before we going to that, we need to know what is the meaning and what is the uses of cost sheet. Without knowing the uses and meaning, there is no use for it. Further, no delay, let's move on to that. First, meaning, and second, uses. It shows the breakup and buildup of cost. How the cost sheet is made and how the cost sheet is broken up, we can find out by doing the cost sheet. Second, it provides the consolidation of the details of cost of a cost center or cost unit. It provides a detail of to determine the selling price. And then we can move on to the uses of cost sheet. Cost sheet is used to represent the cost information, which means determine the selling price and determine the what is the profit by doing the output. And it's used, and majorly it's used for doing budget. Next we will move on to the types of cost. Cost categorized by three types, which is one is material, second one is labor, and thirdly expenses. Under these three, each categorized expenses contains direct and indirect expenses. Under that, we have to provide the overhead expenses only to the indirect expenses. Direct expenses means the expense which is made only into the factory, but indirect expenses are the overhead expenses. So that factory overhead, administrative overhead, and finally selling overhead. Problem, and in question they have given stock of material. First of all, we will draw the holding. In question they have given stock of material on 1988. First of all, we need to find out the direct material. How to find out? Here, opening material, how much? 6720. And next we should add In question they have given how to find out that material, opening stock of material plus purchase of raw material and less closing stock of material. We will get the direct material easily, and then we should add the purchase of material. In question they have given purchase of material is 1,50,000, and newly they have given the material which is replied by the customer. To find out the direct material, we should deduct that. And then less the closing stock. $1,54,720. We will get a direct material. By adding the direct expenses, we will find out the prime cost. For that, we have to add the in question they have given only labor and expenses, so that add direct labor and direct expenses, we will get prime cost. Direct labor in question they have given 50,000 and direct expenses 20,000. By adding these three, we will get prime cost, which is 2,17,000. After that, we have to add the factory overhead, administrative overhead, and selling overhead. In question, they told to find out the profit. First, we have to add the factory overhead, which is 15,300. If 2,32,300, and then we have to add the administrative overhead. And before that, while we finding the factory overhead, in question if they give the opening working progress, we have to add, and the closing working progress we have to less. If it is not given, we have to directly get the factory overhead, and then we have to add the administrative overhead. Administrative overhead 8,000. And then we have to add the selling overhead. Selling overhead means the carriage expenses and transport expenses, which are all comes under the selling overhead. The amount which is given is 7,900. By doing this, we will find out the cost of sales. $2,48,200. In question, they have given the profit. They asked to find out the sales, I think. Yeah. Profit is 10,000, and the sales amount will be 2,58,200. cost plus profit equal to sales. Thank you. This is my seminar. Thank you for the opportunity.